What's up, everybody? My name is Joshua, and we are Bold Follower. And in these live videos, we're just turning on the camera and just kind of talking candidly about some stuff that we've been learning. So today there was a verse that really stuck out to me. It's Matthew 14:30, and let me just give you the scenario. So the scenario is um, Jesus is out there on the water, and as he's walking, Peter sees him, and he says, "Call out to me to come to you." And so Peter comes out of the boat to start to walk to Jesus. It's a very famous scenario situation that we've all probably seen movies and all that. But what's interesting is I wanted to figure out or share with you, when do we call on the Lord, right? When to call on the Lord. The the best answer to that is always, 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 right? Is before anything happens. But sometimes we're not like that. We're like Peter. We have to see ourselves as Peter. We don't always do things perfectly. So that being said, when do we call on the Lord, right? If we're not, being super spiritual, we ate communion for breakfast and we floated in everywhere, right? Because it's just realistically, we're supposed to pray without ceasing, but we just don't. We fail at that sometimes. So when do we call on the Lord? All right, so here it is. Matthew 14:30. And what happens as Peter is walking on the water to Peter, what happens? He falls into the water. And this is what he says. He says, "But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, 'Lord, save me.'" When? When he was beginning to sink. Though, yes, the perfect scenario is our mind is always on heavenly things, that we always focus on the kingdom things, that we focus on the kingdom first. Yeah, that's perfect scenario. But let's be realistic. That doesn't always happen. So the next best case scenario is when you begin to sink. And what's great is the very next verse, it says, immediately, Jesus reaches down to grab Peter and pull him up. Immediately. Isn't that awesome? So we see that Matthew 14:30 shows us that as he's beginning to sink, he calls out. So when you see yourself beginning to sink, you want to know why? Let me tell you something. Remember how I mentioned the perfect scenarios that you're focusing on the kingdom? Let me tell you what happened. You see that, but as it says, Peter, as he saw the wind, what did he do? He stopped looking at Jesus and he looked at what he was fearful of. He stopped looking at the Savior and he started looking at the storm. That's what happened when he took his eyes off of Jesus and looked at the difficulties, then he started to sink. And so it's also a reminder not to take your eyes off of Jesus. Seek first your kingdom, the kingdom, and all things will be given unto you. And so just a real quick reminder. I know we kind of turned these on, just talked for a couple minutes. I just heard that and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. We have to share it. You guys have to hear this. That when do we call upon the Lord? Ideally, always. But if not, when you are starting to sink, go to him. And what's going to happen? He's immediately going to reach down and grab you out. So gosh, I just hope that that encourages you. If you are struggling, if something's going on, and you're beginning to sink, Lord, save me. Cry it, Lord, save me. And he will reach down and he'll pick you up. All right. So I hope you guys are blessed. Hope you enjoy it. Please let me know if you want us to continue these. Peace.